Um, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillah wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulillah Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. وإذ جعلنا البيت مثابة للناس وأمنا واتخذوا من مقام إبراهيم مصلى وعهدنا إلى إبراهيم وإسماعيل أن طهر بيتي للطائفين والعاكفين والركع السجود. صدق الله مولانا العظيم. اللهم صل على سيدنا مولانا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا مولانا محمد وبارك وسلم وصلي عليه. Inshallah, tonight's topic is related to i'tikaf, because we are ending the second ashara and the third ashara, inshallah, starting around the world. Muslims, they are preparing to make a sunnatul i'tikaf. So inshallah, we will have very comprehensive some logistics and some rulings and the basic missiles, importance of i'tikaf. So inshallah, we'll cover it up. First of all, what i'tikaf is all about. One of the things that we have to just keep in our mind, there are three kinds of i'tikaf. One is called i'tikaf wajib. I'tikaf wajib is when someone makes nadar, means makes intention that either if he says that if I fulfill my this desire or my this, the thing that he has in his mind, as long as something is lawful, has to be the lawful, not something that he is keeping intention to do something unlawful and he's making nadar for i'tikaf. It's not going to be valid. So once if he has some intention to fulfill his desire or his action or the thing that is in his mind, so after fulfillment, after finishing or accomplishment of his intention, whatever days that he made intention to make i'tikaf for 3 days, for 4 days, for 1 month, whatever, then after fulfillment of that becomes a wajib. So i'tikaf becomes wajib. And that could be any time. It's not any specific time. That it depends on individual. What days that he is owing or he's making intention. And the second is called i'tikaf sunnati muakkida ala al-kifaya. Sunnati muakkida ala al-kifaya, what it means that this is called the i'tikaf in the last ashara of Ramadan, last 10 nights, last 10 days of Ramadan. Why is it called sunnati muakkida? Because Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam always performed this ibadah without missing, without skipping. Once it happened, because of some reason, the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam could not do 1 year. Then the following year, the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam made qada, means he made 20 days i'tikaf. So what it means, he never missed. So that's become sunnati muakkida. And ala al-kifaya, it means if no one performs ibadah, if no one makes ibadah, i'tikaf for the last ashara in the masjid, so then entire community will be responsible. But if someone made this i'tikaf, then entire community will not be responsible, but the person who is making i'tikaf, only he will be rewarded. It's not going to happen that he is making i'tikaf, entire community is going to be rewarded. But yes, the entire community will not be responsible, but the one who has this ibadah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bless him with a great reward. And the third is called i'tikaf mustahabba. I'tikaf mustahabba is whenever you enter in masjid, in any time. Now, according to some opinion, according to Ahnaf and Imam Shafi'i, they have mentioned that it has no limits. It's no minimum time. Whenever you enter, whether for 1 minute, for 5 minutes, whatever time is available, so you make i'tikaf as you enter, and as long as you will remain in the masjid, will be considered i'tikaf, and when you just leave, and then i'tikaf will be only for that amount of time. Then you can make many i'tikafs. 5 times a day you come to the masjid, or any other time that you enter into the masjid, and it not necessarily have to be only in Ramadan, it could be any time. This is called mustahab. And this is, we should make it a habit whenever we enter in the masjid, just make nawaitu sunnatul itikaf. I'm intending to make itikaf, and this is going to be not only 2 in 1, but 3 in 1 or 4 in 1, because you are making itikaf, you are performing salah, you are reciting Quran, you are making tasbih or tahlilat. Even you are not praying, or you are not reciting Quran, or you are not busy in dhikrullah, but still will be considered that you are in ibadah because you are in itikaf. So this could be itikaf mustahab. But right now we are concentrating the sunnatul itikaf, because last Ashara is going to start. And those brothers and sisters around the world, those are making this, okay. So those are intending. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bless you with a great reward. As the hadith of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam is mentioned, that the person who or she is intending to make itikaf, and while they were not in itikaf and they were busy in other activities and many good amals, while they are in itikaf, now they cannot carry on the same activities. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bless you with all reward that you used to do before itikaf. And you know what? When a person leaves everything aside and he becomes a guest of his Creator. Masajid are about house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Baytullah. Then you leave everything aside and person becomes guest of his Creator. Then you know what? Then when someone comes, as someone who is a really generous, in the hospital person, that he is famous in hospitality, then anyone gets and comes in his house, guess what? He is going to serve him whatever way is possible, isn't it? Then who could be more generous than anyone else? Our Creator, subhanallah. He blesses us with all kind of bounties and favors. And when someone comes in his house and he just stays there and he begs to him, is there any way that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to deprive him? So this is a great opportunity, and this is a great experience. So what are the basics, basic ruling for that? That once if we make intention and it's going to be the last Ashara, as we know that the nights are following the days. So that's why it's mentioned that, before sunset of the last Ashara, you should be in the masjid. And the ladies, those who are making itikaf at home, because Ummahatul-Mu'mineen, they carried on, because of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam left this material world, and Ummahatul-Mu'mineen, they carry on this beautiful ibadah at home. So in their apartments. So the ladies and sisters, those who are making itikaf, so before sunset, they enter into the area where they used to pray salah. You call musalla, that they appointed, or they selected a portion or the place where you used to perform salah, or if they did not have, they are already selecting the room where they can make itikaf. So they get into that area or that portion or into that room. Now, the basic rules are, when we describe the masjid, especially the masjid, and let me just give you a brief introduction here. Sometimes there's a big building. So there are 3 things that we should keep in our mind, especially those who are sitting in the masjid. One is called the masjid's property. Masjid's property. Masjid property including our parking lot, including maybe other buildings, including rooms, or could be some accommodation as well. So this is all masjid's building. And another one is called, masjid property. The second is masjid building. First is masjid property. Masjid property including parking lots or the accommodation or the offices or whatever comes in the masjid property. Second is called masjid's building. Masjid property and masjid building. And a masjid building including our shoe area, washrooms, kitchen, some other offices, could be some other activities room, maybe sometimes we have a small shop, shopping area, cafeteria, and whatever. So this is all masjid's building. Third is called masjid. It's called musalla, which is considered just only the musalla. Just like here, just consider it, this is called the masjid's musalla. And the shoe area, and the washroom area, cafeteria, multi-purpose hall, this is the masjid's building. And go outside, still masjid's property. So where i'tikaf is performed, which is called masjid, which is called musalla. Now, what is the ruling? Once if you make intention of the last ashara to sunnatul muakkad ala kifaya, you may make intention just for 1 day, for 2 days, for nafil i'tikaf, that's a separate. But once if you make intention of last ashara, i'tikaf of last ashara, now after making intention, once if you are in there, now we are not allowed to go out without any valid reason. And what are those valid reasons? It's called hajat asliya or hajat shari'iyya. There are two valid reasons. One is called hajat asliya. Hajat asliya is natural. When we have to whenever we have to go to bathroom, for example. We cannot use bathroom in the masjid, of course. There are areas. Even if it is not in the masjid's building, even you have to go outside the masjid property, or as back then, the villagers, they did not have these kind of facilities. They will go out. They will go for distance. So you are going out, and this is called hajat asliya, because there is no any other option to make wudu. And if in case of you need to perform ghusl, you have to go out to perform ghusl. This is one hajat asliya. And second hajat asliya is, again, you have to eat. You cannot survive without food. If someone is there who is providing food and who is bringing food to you, then you don't have to go out. When no one is there, it could happen. When no one is available who can bring food to you, so you can go out to get food, even up to your house. If no one is there who can bring food to you, and you have to drive and you have to walk all the way to your house, get the food from there. Don't eat there. Get the food from there, and you can eat food in your area where you're making i'tikaf. This is called hajat asliya. And hajat shari'iyya is, there are masajid, Jummah salah is not performed. Small masajid. And by the way, this is another masla is, i'tikaf is performed where 5 daily salah are performed with the jamaat. Sometimes if you skipped, it doesn't mean but it's if imam is appointed or not, but yes, regularly the 5 daily salah are performed. So i'tikaf will be performed. Why I'm saying this, sometimes we have a just room appointed, in the office or in locality, that rarely or sometimes we just perform salah, and maybe once in a while we pray Jummah, or this will not be considered musalla, this will not be considered masjid, so i'tikaf is not required there. So 5 daily salah are performed. So, for example, Jummah is not performed, so you have to go to perform Jummah into the Jamia Masjid. This is called hajat shari'iyya. And again, sometimes what happens, sometimes, if there's some natural disaster or some emergency, there's a fire or something has happened that you have to leave the masjid. And you can leave and you can go to the second masjid which is closer to you, any masjid. So these are the just basics. Other than this, if someone left masjid without any of these valid hajat asliya and hajat shari'iyya, and according to, of course, all the school of thought, that especially Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullah, he mentioned that even just for 1 minute you are out, then this i'tikaf will no longer valid. That the days that you miss, you have to make qada then. This is very important. Now, sometimes the people, they ask question, what about, one is when you need it, when is it required to make ghusl? Otherwise, sometimes people, they have a habit. Every day they have to take a bath. If they don't take a bath, they become restless. They don't feel comfortable. By the way, unnecessary, ghusls is not encouraged, by the way. It's not encouraged, but is not something strictly prohibited, because I didn't see any evidence that we could say that is completely prohibited, even for ghusl Jummah. Ghusl Jummah, although is not required, is not mandatory to perform, but some of them they give the flexibility. One of the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, habit of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he used to make an itikaf, and he used to just extend his head mubarak out of the window, and Hazrat Aisha Siddiqa radiyallahu anha, Ummul Mu'minin Aisha Siddiqa radiyallahu anha, used to wash Rasulullah head mubarak. So what it means, he could go and he could wash himself. Why he will take it out his head from the window or from the masjid, and she used to wash? What it means, that unnecessarily going out and washing and taking shower, so it's not encouraged. So if something is required, yes, of course, is Hajat Asliya, you can do that. Ghusl Jummah, flexibility. Other than this, a habit is that wasting maximum time washing and giving ghusl, so that is not encouraged while you are making itikaf. Now another important thing is, one is called a ritual, and other one is called spirit, ruh. Ritual is that you left everything aside, now you are in the masjid, you are making itikaf for the last ashara, for the last 10 days. This is as according to Sunnah of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. During this itikaf, what we have to do, why? First of all, we have to think that what is our main purpose and object to making itikaf? To cut off ourselves from the worldly things. But once if we are in the masjid, and we still keep on carrying our activities, the ruh will not be there. Ritual is there, but the ruh is not there. The ruh is that you don't have to indulge any sort of activities that you used to do before itikaf. We have to restrict ourselves. Just only recitation of Quran, ibadat, or ta'lim or ta'allam, or we have any some good books to recite, to study, which increases your knowledge. Other than this, unnecessarily gossips. Unnecessary gossips, as we know, gossips are always unnecessary, is not required. And just engaging ourselves, again, voluble talk. This is damaging the ruh of itikaf. That's very important. So I think if you have any question, sometimes just for interaction, if you have anything more specific in your mind, you feel comfortable. But just comprehensive is, we are making itikaf of Sunnat Mu'akkadat al-Kifaya, and the headlines are, after making intention, when you are entered in that area, now without Hajat Asli and Hajat Shari'iyah, we don't have to go out. This is one ruling. Even not for visiting the sick or attending the Salatul Janazah, because Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said those who used to do that, Allah will give them reward while they are in itikaf. And what we do, sometimes the people, they have this habit that while I'm in itikaf, I don't have to talk at all. No, this is not again ruling that you don't have to talk. Something is urgent, something is good, something is valuable, that you may talk. Is not prohibited, but only the gossips and the voluble, which is not encouraged, which is not beautiful. That is not allowed. And sometimes the people, they bring their laptops, their cell phones, and everything is there. Oh, this is a quality time, so let me do my work. I'm itikaf, I'm making itikaf, and what is wrong that I'm doing something my work. Yes, he will be considered he's itikaf or she's in itikaf, but the ruh is that we have to cut off ourselves. So if we are not cutting off ourselves from these activities, then the point of itikaf will not be there. So that's the basic things that we have to do. And this is a quality time. This is between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is a time that we ask Allah Ta'ala, we ask our Creator and our generous Creator, our the host who will not turn you back without without providing what you are asking for with an empty hand. So please, if you have any questions, we'll cover them. Yes.
So if we are going outside, like say we're using the bathroom, but somebody's coming outside after we do wudu and they're coming, they're saying salam to us, are we allowed to respond to their salam?
Okay, here is just while you are walking, you are not stopping there. Question is, someone says salam to you, you are going to make wudu, or you are returning back on your way. People, they don't know whether you are in itikaf or not. Some people they are stranger. So they will just regularly say assalamu alaikum. Maybe they will hold you, they will start talking to you, because if they are not aware of that, they may do that. They are doing it. So just indication is that while you are walking, and if you keep on walking and with a small response, wa alaikum assalam, that is quite permissible. But you stop there and you start talking and wa alaikum assalam, shaking hands and hugging, and this is not encouraged. You can get back if they would like to talk to you. Just give them indication, get back to the masjid. While you just step in. It's not necessary you have to be in your designated area. But while you are in the masjid, and if they are not getting in, they are just stepping out because they don't want to take off your shoes. But you should be inside of the masjid if you have to talk something which is important. So on the hallway and coming back or going to the areas, make sure that don't get involved into this kind of a conversation.
But would that break your i'tikaf? Say if you were just doing that
while you are just walking, just say that while you are walking, you respond to wa alaikum assalam and necessary things that while you are walking, you are not stopping there. That is could be fine. But you stop there. I'm saying you stop and get into a conversation. Just as mentioned that it happened that when you are outside of out of the masjid and you cut the khwa, this mentioned the one who you were owing some money from somebody, he holds you there. He says, hey man, I need you, I need my money, and he start talking to you and he's holding you. That breaks your itikaf. If that breaks itikaf, then what about other things then?
What if someone gets to know that there's a medical emergency, like a person is doing itikaf and he gets to know that there is some medical emergency at his home?
Yes. If something could happen, like medical emergencies. It reminds me of one friend of mine that he was in itikaf and his wife got in a car accident. And he received call. What to do? He asked me, Sheikh, what should I do now? Because my wife is in a car accident and I'm in itikaf. And it's an emergency. I said, please go first there. There are other people who will carry on. Then in this what happens? This is urgent. In case of emergency, whether you are in emergency or your family members are in emergency or something is really important that you have, leave itikaf. Go and fulfill your needs. That the days that you missed, you have to make up. Because this day, that the time or the days that you missed, that it becomes qada then. You have to make it qada because just like salah. You are making salah, nawafil or any other salah, Allahu Akbar, you just started and something has happened. You broke your salah, but you have to make it. Now you have to make it qada. Similarly that. Do it, but make it qada.
Is there any kafara if you break your itikaf, it's not the asliya or the other one?
Yes. It's not like a kafara. For example, without any valid reason, you went out of your itikaf area. So, from the masjid, you went out of the masjid. So it is not a kafara, but it's a qada. Qada is you have to make up. As Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, this called sunnah al-muakkada al-kifaya. Once year he missed all days and next year he continued. He made 20 days. So he made it qada. So while you started, if you started, then it becomes a wajib to complete. So it becomes either wajib, it becomes a sunnah al-muakkada again. But you have to make it. Yes, any other necessary question?
How do you do the qada? It's after. Do you have to sit in the masjid or for qada, or you can?
Of course, because itikaf has to be in the masjid. For the male, they have to be in the masjid. For the female, the place where they make itikaf.
With fasting?
Yes, this is another question is that. For the nafil itikaf, we don't require for fasting. For the sunnah al-muakkada al-kifaya and for the wajib the opinion is, one of opinion is, they should be in a fasting. They should be in a fasting. Those who are sunnati muakkada al-kifaya, or those are wajiba. Yeah.
Yeah. If you throw up, you broke the fast.
Yes.
So you're not in fast, but you can do the qada fast afterwards.
Yeah, you can make qada afterwards. If you break your fast, yes. If you break your fast, for example. So breaking the fast, that's a question is, breaking fast will break your itikaf. Your itikaf will be still valid.
No, that's not the question.
Yeah.
How do we make up? It doesn't make a break your itikaf, but how do we make up? So that means you have broken your fast.
Yes.
But that means you will have to make it up.
You have to, yes, you have to make it up your fasting.
The question is, if we are in a itikaf and we are fasting, we need to be fasting anyway, but if we broke our fast because we threw up, so that means, do we need to make up the fast after?
Yes, of course. Just throwing up, first of all, the masla, just throwing up will not break your fast. This is again another misconception. They have a small throw up, and they say, "Oh, I lost my fast. So what should I do now?" No, just throwing up will not break your fast unless while you are throwing up, something goes out and then gets in. Gets back in. If this happens, then you lost your fasting. If you're just out, you are throwing out, and nothing is you're getting back, that you keep on carry on your fast. Will not so don't consider that you lost your fasting and then you have to make up. Only in that case you have to make up.
Thank you. I remember one time there was a delivery that came, and so just say there's a delivery that comes, but there's nobody there going to be here at the masjid, and there's nobody like enough to the cup. Are we allowed to go and open the door?
Yeah, that's challenging. It could be many other activities, not only one. Turn off the lights, shut down the doors. Alarm, something false alarm, or something happened in the parking lot. So these are all these things that you have to leave the masjid. As I'm saying that if this is emergency means there's a fire in the masjid. There's a fire in the masjid, or there's a flood in the masjid, or masjid is collapsing, is a damage, something. These are the hajat, these are the hajats. But other things, the delivery comes in, or you have to check the parking lot, or you have to check in other areas. That's why we recommend someone has to be who is doing nafli itikaf. But if you do that for that reason, you just go out. It does not come in hajat asliya and hajat shariya. Will break your itikaf.
So
This will break your itikaf.
Call Iqbal Hassan, call Dr. Mia.
Well, we tried that.
Do not take the risk.
Yeah, we tried. It was actually a part for this cubicle.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was kind of an emergency. We needed. It was coming down. So they ordered it, and then eventually Ali Bhai has to open.
You open a door and go out and just help them out.
Not even. He just opened the door and they
Let them in.
Yeah, this is something is challenging. I think we should recommend someone who is in a nafli itikaf. No one itikaf is there, so if something happens and you could just go out and make up, make up again the same days.
Ali Bhai comes always nafil itikaf.
Yeah.
We will call him.
Yeah, just give him a call, someone, or unless there's access.
We will leave our numbers here for emergency use.
Yeah, unless there is some access, while you are in the masjid and you are opening up.
Yeah, I think we have an access here. We tried one there.
Yes.
Just keep some emergency exits while you are in the masjid, and you can just push and you can open up. Someone can come in. Whether they are allowed to get in from there and go and open the main door.
They won't take off their shoes.
No, they can't.
They will keep it. They respect. Those are not Muslims, and if you tell them that we keep it shoes outside, so they respect. If they are not taking off their shoes for medical reasons, we should keep some plastic bags. Put them plastic bags.
If they need to do the delivery, they can drop it here.
They can drop it here. That's
They
fine.
don't have to go.
Yeah, that's fine. And once if they drop it here, you can take it out. You can just keep it outside there. You can do that. But because you're still in the masjid, that's fine. So I think so. We will keep on still carry on. That if you have anything to be asked, so inshallah will be available. But make your intention, the pure intention, for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and before sunset. As Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, one of the hadiths that he used to enter after Fajr. But ruling is that before sunset, the days start, because night is following the days, and so before sunset you are in the masjid and you are breaking your iftar in the masjid, in the mu'taqaf, where you making itikaf. So then after that, then basics ruling will apply on you. If in case you would like to ask any certain things, so inshallah we'll always you can have my number whenever you can give me a call, or we will meet. So you can write it down, any masla that you think that it need to be asked. So we'll sit down, we'll discuss inshallah. It's not something complicated. We don't have to make this thing complicated. It's very simple, very easy. It's easy to follow. Some people, they think, oh, if I'm in itikaf and I have to follow these rules and that rules, and what should I do? Is it possible? Is not? No, everything is possible. Inshallah, Allah will make it easy for you because you are in good intention. Inshallah.
If I may request everybody with the 15 to please fill out the forms. I would request all the mutafaqeen to please fill out the forms, and also most everybody is here. If they can go and see the space, which is allocated here, so there's no question when they come here tomorrow evening. So let's get the assignment now, so you would know where to go tomorrow when you bring your stuff.
Inshallah. Inshallah. So how many brothers are intending?
There are 7 brothers, mashallah,
mashallah,
there,
mashallah,
and 1 nafli gonna doing all 10 days.
Oh, mashallah.
Yeah.
And there will be multiple
naflis after.
Alhamdulillah. So you will as many as days.
They're multiple.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for all of you, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you, and we request you to make dua for all of us. Jazakallahu khairan. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala sayyidina Muhammadin wa sallim. Allahumma rabbana taqabbal minna innaka antas samiul alim wa tub alayna ya maulana innaka antat tawwabur rahim. या हुलालमीन जितने भी हमारे बहन भाई हैं हुलालमीन जो एतकाफ़ की नीयत रख रहे हैं, या हुलालमीन के लिए आसानियाँ पैदा फरमा, उनको अजर अज़ीम अता फरमा, या हुलालमीन की इबादत को कबूल फरमा, या हुलालमीन उनको, या हुलालमीन लैलतुल क़द्र सब मुसलमानों को, खुसूसन एतकाफ़ वालों को या लैलतुल क़द्र नसीब फरमा, या हुलालमीन हम तमाम को खात्मा बिल ईमान खात्मा बिल खैर फरमा, नेकी इबादत शुक्र अदा करते हैं तौफ़ीक़ अता फरमा। सल्लल्लाहु तआला अला रसूलिल खैरिल खल्क़ि मुहम्मद व आलिहि अजमईन व रहमतुल्लाह। कितनी बड़ी ब्लेसिंग्स हैं कि अल्लाह ताला उसको इबादत यानी लैलतुल क़द्र नसीब फरमा दे।